Hi. Can you hear me? Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, can you all hear me? I'm just trying to double check.
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Cool. Because a couple of times when I did the Zoom meeting, the other party cannot hear me. Okay, let me also try to see share screen. I will just take a try, okay, because haven't used it for a while. Share screen. Like this one. So you guys can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, then I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. Just double check to make sure everything works. If you all want, you can also like turn on your video and you know, kind of talk to each other, get to know with each other. And maybe I can also hi. Oh, you can turn you all can also try turn on audio. Yeah. Hi. So get ready for school. Your audio is turned off. Now it's on.
Yep, getting everything ready and trying to figure it out.
Is this the first class for you today or? Oh,
Yep.
Okay. And this is not the scheduled time. The scheduled time is just Wednesday because this is a blended class.
Right.
But I, because last semester we tried with Zoom and looks like the effect is quite good. So
Right.
I said, yeah, I will continue doing this.
So are we planning on meeting every day of the week except Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then on Wednesday, we have the option to come to class, right?
Wednesday, we will just do the Zoom. The
Okay.
issue is because what we did here is we call that a closed lab. The
Okay.
closed lab is in the past is I will stop by your machine in front of your machine and to help you debug your problem or debug your code, you know, take a look at your code. And right now with this kind of situation, it's we cannot do that. I cannot get so close to you all. So I figure out the only way for us is we can do the screen share.
Right.
So it's just like in the classroom, you can't, if you have any question, you want me to help you debug your problem, you see, you just share screen with me in this session, and I will also let the GA be here, and she can also help. Then, you know, we can help you and give you detailed instruction on where the problem is, how to debug, you know, all of this kind of things.
You also have your like Zoom office hours as well that we could
Yeah. Office hour, if you have any problems about your code, we can also do screen share. Yeah. So that I can take a look. Not as convenient as in the past, you know. Students just bring their laptop to my office, and I would just, but right now we cannot do that. Yeah. So are all of you like right now on campus?
I'm living in a house like right off campus, so I'm pretty close.
Yeah, so you all just be careful. Follow the policy, the recommended policy. Yeah, take a good care of yourselves. Because I got some students send me emails that they couldn't come. They already isolated.
Right. Yeah.
Because their suite mates.
I think there was already 5 new cases on Friday. So that,
Really?
yeah.
Wow. That's just.
It'll be all right. We'll get through it.
So, but no matter what, just be very, very careful. Okay. This what I so don't just think, oh, it won't hurt teenagers, is it? Yeah, teenagers the rate is quite low, but there is not saying like who will get hit, is it? So just be careful. Yeah, wear the mask. When you go anywhere, wear the mask. Yeah. Keep social distance. Yeah. Any questions before we start? Oh no, right now you don't need to wear a mask. Yeah.
Hi, Dr. Liu.
Pardon me?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now I joined the Zoom meeting in my apartment.
Yeah.
So I have another class that start at 11 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
So I need to leave a little bit
Early. Yeah, no
maybe
problem. Because anyway, all of our Zoom lecture going to be recorded.
Oh yeah.
And later on, I will upload it to YouTube. And then on our course website, I provide a link so that you can watch later in your class, on your own. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And some students told me that they like the recorded videos because they can, if certain parts of the material they didn't understand at that point, they can play back and forth to help them better. Not like in classroom. Once we are done, we are done.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it just takes time. Yeah.
So just to be clear, we will meet every day on Zoom at 10 except for Thursdays.
Yeah. And if you all want to add also another Zoom session on Thursday, I'm okay. I don't have any class on Thursday. If you all want, okay. I definitely. So we can see if we need to schedule any special session. Right. Yeah.
If we're going through like a tough chapter or something.
Yeah. I fully understand that. I'm pretty open. Yeah. So Thursday I don't. I just have another class between 9 to 10. Yeah. So Tuesday, Thursday I have another one before this class. But this time frame I'm pretty open on Thursday. Yeah. So if that time also works for you, I can schedule one. But it's not mandatory that everyone need to come. Hold on, I need to admit everyone.
So just to be clear, we have a class every day, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m.?
Yeah,
okay.
10 a.m., yeah.
Thank you.
Are there any questions? Yeah. Okay, so let me first introduce myself. So I will be your instructor. Hold on, let me admit we have one more coming. So I will be your instructor for CS265. And I think my office hour, I also posted on our course website. And we are going to meet every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at this time between 10 to 10:50. And if you, most of you also like to meet on Thursday, I can also do that. Just let me know, okay, what is your preference. And in the past, because this class we meet, it's a 4 credit hour. So in the past, we always have 3 credit hour, or not 3 hours for lecture. And that 1 hour is dedicated for a lab we call closed lab. And what we did in closed lab in the past, okay, that's in the past, is every once a while, kind of like every topic, I have a lab assignment. And the lab assignment, what we did is not you just submit, we grade. The lab assignment is, we generally in the past is, we do the checkout in the closed lab session. And but you can work on your own beforehand, and on that day you can do the checkout. And in case if you also have questions, and if you want us to help you debug your program, and I can also do that in front of your machine. But right now the situation is I cannot do that because of social distance. So the way for the closed lab then to work is every Wednesday we are going to still meet here on Zoom. And I'm going, so if you have a program you want me to debug, then you share your screen with me. Then I can help you. So just like later you are going to see, you will also see all of my screen. So then in this way, we can do kind of, you see, virtual interaction. And right now, this is pretty common, you know, in our field, especially because all the big tech, you know, like Google, Facebook, they all work remotely. So how the team work together is a lot of screen share, you know, like this kind of Zoom meeting. So we can try to to see how that works. And last semester, we tried with Zoom lecture. It was quite effective, okay, because students told me they can also review later after class. And this semester, we can also try to mimic a kind of like the real IT world, okay? Do this kind of team working virtually, and also like a program debug, a share screen, how everything like that works. So that's the general plan. And so Wednesday, we are also going to just meet here, okay? So we don't meet in our classroom because I cannot sit in front of your computer and do the debug for you, okay, like in the past. But here, for sure, I can do that. And also, just like I said, in case you guys also prefer, like we also meet Thursday, I'm okay. But that's, of course, that's beyond the requirement, okay? The requirement just meet 4 times a day. But if you need extra help, I'm pretty happy to do that. And this class is, I personally think is quite important, okay? Because you may also find it's kind of a challenge, okay? But don't get scared. Oh, it's because in the real world, later on when you work in this career, that in this tech career, all of the development is going to be much harder than this class. Okay, but I will try my best to give you some foundation. So once you get through this class, then probably later on, a lot of harder, even the harder material, you can just pick up on your own, okay? So a lot of core concept, that's what this class tried to do, okay? Especially like OOP. And the OOP in Java, you will find it's quite messy, okay? But I will try to find a way to make sure you all get it, okay? And the other part is the data structure part. And the data structure part is also very important. It's the foundation of computer science. But some of you may be from cybersecurity, you may think, oh, that may not be important. And trust me, it's also very important, okay, for cybersecurity, because if you want to be a security expert, definitely you need to have very skilled programming knowledge. And in our class, we are also kind of talk about secured programming in Java, okay, some concept, but there are a lot more, okay, so later on in your some other class, you may also going to learn that. So the two important part of this class is one is OOP, Java OOP, the other is data structure, and some side concepts is about secured programming in Java, okay. And then we also have some quite a lot of assignments, so you all will be very busy, okay. So that's the general introduction about this class. Do you have any questions? So if you have any question, you just feel free to turn on your audio and just talk about it.
Probably like next month, though.
So no question. If there is no question, then I'm going to start our contents, okay? Yeah. And I don't think the syllabus, everything, okay. I think you can read on your own. Is that syllabus, everything? Oh, just one more, on our course website, we also have the office hour. So, so in case you have any questions about the course, you can also come to the Zoom office hour. And also, please let me know if you prefer to also add another hour on Thursday, okay? And if you all do think that we need to another extra hour of maybe reviewing what we covered for certain lectures or reviewing your assignments or whatever, just let me know. Then I can also schedule that hour to our Zoom meeting. Okay, so that's the general question. And in case if you have question, you just feel free to turn on your audio and talk about it, okay? Or you can send it to the chat, okay? Try with chat, and if I see it, I will try to answer it, okay? So that's a general idea. And today, in the past, because our lab is always arranged like the first, like Monday. So I will go over like some lab coding standard. But this time, because it's on Wednesday, so I will leave that part on Wednesday's lab session in Zoom. Okay, just make sure Wednesday lab session, don't go to classroom, just come to Zoom, okay? And we will do that over the Zoom. And then next I will share my screen, okay? We will start to start our contents. And the very beginning part is just give you a quick review. Okay, quick review, but not all of your CS265 material. There's just some quick things that may help you for your lab. Okay, the example I also already uploaded on our course website. So if you want, you can also go there, download it, and take a look. Okay. So the first example is I will try to give you some idea about run program in console. So what here is this example will review the command line arguments, and we'll also review how do we do the input from console, okay? So, and I believe you all know how to create a project in NetBeans. And of course, it's not limited to the IDE with Net. You can you feel free to use any others. Okay, but here because Oracle official website uses NetBeans, so that's why I just pick this IDE. Okay, and I'm not sure if you all know how to use NetBeans. I believe you all know, is it? So you just go to. So I will see draw page. Yeah, I'm just going to see if let me know if you can see it. Okay. So normally, if you want to start with a new project, is it? So here is the part, the left pane. Is it on the left pane? And you can go to like the, oh, I cannot, let me do this. Oh, now it's the drawing. So anyway, you go to the left pane, is it? I cannot demonstrate because right now I'm on the draw mode. So you can left click your mouse, is it? Open like a new project, and then you can create a new project. And normally over here, we just do console, is it? So console is all of the output will be output either in the IDE's output a window, or in command line. I will later on show you. Command line that will be on your command line.
CMB.
Pardon me? Okay, so anyway, so this project is, I call it chapter 1 console input example. Okay, so what we here have is we are going to, and I believe you all know this scanner class, is it? For standard input and for other input, you can use it, is it? The scanners we are going to demonstrate. So this is one option. And the other option I'm going to show you, it's called also console. And this is from different package, okay? One is from Java utility scanner, the other is for java.io.console, okay? And I needed to, hold on, let me stop the annotation. Oh, I need to erase this first. Okay, then let's go to our program. So here, our program, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so we all know, is it in Java, everything is a class, is it? But this is special. Later on, after we learn class, we will also say, because right now for our project, we only have this single Java file, is it? And this Java file also has what? Has the main function, is it? And the main method is a program. So we can also call an app. Apps is the entry point. Entry point. The entry point means the operating system will use this to start to run your program. Okay, so I believe you all already know this. So anyway, for this one, what we first do is, if you take a look, is it? So anyway, main is also a method, is it? And this method, be careful, it's called static method. Okay. And later on, after we learn class, we will also say some method when you define it doesn't have static, but this has a static. So what's the difference? Later on, after we learn class, we will explain. Okay, and the methods, the main is also method, is it as a return type, is it? And the name of this method is called main, is it? And over here, the args, and this is what? This is an array type, is it? And the type of this array is what? Is a string, is it? And what is this called in a method? As we call it a parameter. A parameter, is it? Okay, but this parameter, we call it a command line arguments. Command line arguments. Okay, later on when we run this program in command line, and you can provide something, okay, and then it will recognize. And over here, what we did is the first is statement is quite simple. It's just an output statement. And this output go to where? It's not go to a file. It's go to your screen. It's go to your console, basically. And this kind of system data out. So this kind of, we call it a standard output. And we also have standard input. The standard input is from what? It's from keyboard. And the input and the output, there are different sources. They can also come from file. And right now we also have internet. They can also come from internet. They all go to internet. Is it? So anyway, they are all considered as I/O. So input and output. Is it? But just different sources. So this is pretty simple. It's just output some line. Is it over here? It's try to welcome to our CS2. Okay. And then next, what we go through is if you take a look of this one, is it's a for loop. But be careful, and I'm not sure what kind of loop you already learned in CS1. Is it we have definite loop? You also, so definite loop is a for loop. Is it, that's a very general one. Is it the other is you also have while loop. Is it that's you don't know how many times you're going to loop for while loop. If you use for loop, you know the number of times you're going to loop. Is it? And this kind of loop, we call it for each loop. And this arg, is it? Arg is an array. It is an array, is it? And because it is an array, so you can use for each loop. Okay, it's not everything you can use for each loop. Okay, later on we are also going to learn like some data structure, and you can also use for each loop, like this simplified version. Okay, so for this loop, for each loop, what we did is depends on how many arguments you provided, is it? And if we provide 3 arguments, then you're going to have 3 lines of output, and each line will be one of the argument that you provide through the command line arguments. Okay, so that's this part. And this part is, it should be pretty straightforward. And then what the next part show is, oh, sorry, I need to use eraser. What the next part show is, you remember we discussed the scanner class. It's from java.utility. Okay. So this scanner, it's a class. And you can use standard input. So here system.in, is it? We also learn system.out. Is it? So system.in.out, both of this, we call them standard I/O. So standard input and output, okay? And later on, we are also going to learn file I/O, is it? And like I said, we also have network I/O. Is it just different source, okay? And over here, it's standard. So this means you're going to get your input from what? The standard is from keyboard. Okay, so you're going to enter. And with the scanner, and over here, this scanner, this is a variable. And you learned in CS1 is a variable. And this variable is not the primary type, data type, is it? The data type is a class, scanner, okay? So basically this scanner it's an instance, or we call it an object. Okay, so it's an object, and the object type is called scanner. Okay, and then with scanner, the nice thing for it, it supports you to do the input with number, or like integer, or float, or double, even character, or string. Is it different data type? Okay, later on for the other one, the other option, we will say it only take string. And then you need to do conversion. Then in this case, we don't need to do conversion. Then over here, I want to get integer. Because if it doesn't provide this function, then generally speaking, standard input will be considered as a string. Okay, so here, be careful. There is and there is a difference. Okay, so if like, oh, sorry. So if I have something like this is a string. This is a string. And this 900, this is an integer. An integer, is it? So it's different, okay? And if normally what we get from keyboard is a string literal, okay? And then you need to do like the integer dot parse, is it? If you want to get a number for your calculation, is it? And you need to call that parse function, is it, to convert it. But over here with the scanner, you don't, is it? You just call the dot, the next int method. You call this, okay? So whatever the number you input, it will be stored in this variable now, is it? And what over here we are trying to do is we are going to do summation of whatever we entered it. So that's why over here we use this while loop, okay? And this is termination centennial, is it? So this is a stopping number. So if you don't want, if you want to terminate the loop, you can input this number, okay? And do the summation pretty straightforward, is it? And output whatever the number, is it? And you can keep calling, is it? The scanner dot next int, is it? So that you can get of the integers. So that's a general idea about that program. Because I'm going to share, I need to change the share screen to, let's see, share my command line, yeah. So that program you just saw, as it, if you recall, it will try to do command line arguments print out, is it? As also the get some integer number from your screen, is it? Then let's see. So over here, I will show you how do we do command line. And you all know how to get to command line? If not, later I'm going to just quickly explain. And this is regarding in Windows, okay? And over here, oh, why it's gone? Let me do the draw, okay? So over here, for some reason it won't work. Need to bring back the screen. Okay, so over here, this part, C:, then /user, that's the folder. Okay, so where my project is, the project is under the folder, I call it chapter 1, is it underscore array. And then I have the project called chapter 1 underscore console input example, is it? So if you want to, so in Windows, if you call dir, okay, in Linux it's ls, is it? In Windows, if you call dir, then it will show the folder, is it? So I have 2 subfolders under that chapter 1 underscore array folder. So because I need to run my program, I will show you, okay, about the command line. So let's take a look the folder. So I will change directory. So this is command line change direct CD, and then chapter 1 underscore console input example. So this is my folder. Is it under the folder, because this is NetBeans project, okay, so it has NetBeans projects some folder, and the SRC folder represents our Java file. So all of the Java file will be under SRC, called source folder, okay? And the Java is going to be compiled to a data class file. Is it, so where that file is? So let's take a look. So it will be in build. Under build, we have the folder called classes. Is it? So let's go to classes folder. Is it under here? Did you see ch1 underscore console input example? Is it? So let's go to that folder, take a look. So console input ex. Okay, and in this folder, did you see that data class file? Is it? So that file is our Java class file. And what you are going to run, you're going to run that file, is it? But in NetBeans, because we create this project and it also has a package. So the previous one, so this folder, hold on, yeah, if you take a look, this folder is we call it ch1 underscore console input exam. So that represents the package, the package for the path, okay, for the class path. So in this case, when we want to run our program, so we are going to call Java as in command line. And it's not you just give that data class file, okay, then you can run. Because over here we have, this is called package. So console input, yeah. So this is a package name. And under it, you have that file. Is it chapter 1, then console input ex. So that's our Java file. This is the class file. And what is the command line arguments? Then over here, suppose I have 3.1, hello world. And then suppose CS265. Okay, let's try more. Okay, same old and today. Is it? So over here, hello world, CS265, same old and today. We type 5 words. Is it? And these 5 words are called command line arguments. So it's the arguments that you input to the main method. Okay, so let's try to run it. Is it? And did you see? Here it says, okay, welcome to the, here is the arguments from command line. Is it? That's what, it's a hello world, CS2 the same today. Is it the 5 words that I enter? Okay, and next is that I can enter some positive number. Is it, suppose I enter some, is it? So these are all from standard input. Is it from my keyboard? Now let's try to finish it. And then it will do the calculation. Is it? So all of this, what we show is called command line. Let's go back to take a look at our code. Okay, not here. Okay, then let's see in our code. I need to stop sharing again. No. Annotation. Okay, now let's see. Is it? So now do you remember that args? Is it? And what I type is a hello world. Is it? Hello world. Those 5 words. Is it? And those are called command line. Command line arguments. arguments. Okay, and also be careful for a method. For a method, is it? And you have like, suppose it's integer. And this is called parameter. Parameter, okay. And then when you call it, suppose in main here, you call it method, is it? And you plug in, suppose here with 100, is it? And this is called arguments. Okay, just be careful. When you plug in, it's called argument. And for the method, the definition is called parameter. Okay, so that's why over here we call it a command line argument, because you're going to enter it from the keyboard, is it? With your Java command. This Java is a command, is it? And we write in command line, is it? And it's independent, okay? It's outside of NetBeans, is it? So you run it, and following this command, Java command is your class name. Class name. And in our case, we also have package name. Is it package dot class? Is it? And do you see over here in NetBeans over here? Because each time when you create a project, by default it creates this package. Okay, so this is a package name. So that's why when you run in command line, you also need to specify the package name. It's not always you have a package. If you don't create a package, then you just provide the class name. Is it? And after the class name, is it, is our hello world of this. We call it command line arguments. So command, the Java class file name, is it? And the following those are the command line argument. And a lot of time we don't use command line arguments, is it? So, but here just provide you some idea about what is command line argument. Let me erase all this. Okay, and then go back to draw. No, let me try scroll down. Okay, and then over here is that's what I just showed. Is it with the scanner? Then I can type something in. Is it? And you can keep calling the next int. Is it to get whatever integer? You don't need to do the conversion. Okay, so that's the first option. Okay, first option. Let's see, this part I commented it out. So let's take a look at this part. So this is the second option. You can also get input from console, is it? Then in this case, you need to create a console instance. So this is a console object. Okay, and you just use system.console to create it. And after you have this instance, then you can call its method. So in this case, it takes a read line. Is it? So whatever you type until you hit enter, that's considered a line in your standard input, is it? So it will get this whole input. And what this whole input will be, so this method, read line is a method. It doesn't have any argument, is it? So whatever you typed on the keyboard, is it? Unless you hit the enter, it will be stored. And it will also be returned. And return what? This return type of this function is a string, is it? So that's why you will get a string. Okay, a string. And over here, because we are going to collect also number, is it? So we don't need that /n, is it? So /n is the enter, is it? for new line. And this train method, this is string class. It's not console, be careful, okay? Even though I call another dot, but this belongs to string class. Okay, so what it does is will take away, it will remove the trailing /n, is it that enter, that a single character, okay? And so you're going to get some input, is it? And in this case, we want to get integer, is it? So that's why over here, you need to call integer, the parse integer method, and plug in with that string, is it? And it will convert then in this case, what I just explained, 900 to number 900. Okay, so if you use console, then it's more work compared with scanner, is it? Then let's take a look at the while loop, the same thing, you just want to keep doing, is it? And then in this case, and what in this case, when will I stop? Is it in last time when the scanner, because it will just get integer, is it? So you just use, if it's not the negative 99,999, is it? But this time I just say, oh, I want to use some word, suppose quit, is it? And if that's the case, this input, this is a string variable, is it? A string object. And the string, and we know all objects, later on we're also going to learn, has this method called equals, is it? The parameter type should be object, is it? Because it belongs to object class, is it? That's the root class of all of Java class, is it? This equals method. Equals method used to compare what? Compare contents, compare objects, contents. Okay, be careful, because later on we are also going to see. So some other concept, it's reference, okay? So here it's just care about contents. So you want to compare if your entered is quit. And here for string, it also has a method more generous. You can ignore case, okay? So it doesn't matter if you enter like this, quit. It will also think it's equal, okay? So then you can call this equals ignore case, okay? And then after we call that, then did you see you need to convert it, is it, to integer? So you need to convert it and then do summation, okay, then do read line again, then get rid of the space, is it? Over here it's a /n. And then get converted back to integer again and run it, is it? So that's the general idea about this method. And I'm not sure if I can do, let me just first stop it, okay. Stop sharing screen. Stop share, let me get uncomment that part of code so that you will all be able to see what's going on, okay. Uncomment out. And this time, let me comment this part out. Hold on. And then let me share screen again. Share screen again. Okay, so what I did is I uncomment out. The other option is it using console for standard input, but just be careful with this console. it can only read in string, is it? So you need to manually do conversion if you need a number, is it? Convert from a string to integer in this case, okay? So let's see if we can run this program, is it? So just in the IDE, is it, in NetBeans, if I run it, it cannot run, is it? Because what? Because over here, we need to do some command line arguments also, is it? So this won't work. So that's why, let me stop and reshare the other screen. So is it, so this time, let's go back to the command line, is it? So for the command line, so we need to do the command line. So Java, is it the package name? So it's called console input ex. Then the class name is chapter 1, then console input ex. So that's the class name. After that, we want to have some command line argument. Is it? So this time, suppose let's do this. August 2020, is it? Is our first meeting. Is it? This is my command line words. And I hit enter. Is it? Did you see the output of the command line argument? Is it print out here? And then I need to input some number. Is it 200, 300, 500? Is it? Then I type, suppose I type quit. Is it? So it will stop. Is it? So that's the other option. The other option, let me go back to the other screen. So that's the second option, how it works. Okay, how it works. So basically that's all about this first example review. So just try to review how do we use command line arguments, is it? And this command line arguments is regarding main method, okay, main method. And then we also reviewed how do we do standard input using scanner, is it? As well as console, okay. So we use 2 options. And generally we use like scan. Later on, we are also going to learn after we move into like a file, we will also see there are some other options we can do input, okay. And the scanner not just take in from standard input, it can also take from other source, okay. So stay just one of the source. So that's what this first example did. So any questions regarding the first example? Is it clear? Any question? If it's okay, I will move on to the next one. So any QES, any questions? No, everything's good. So I will move on to the next example, okay. So the next example, first let me get to share screen. So the second example, then we will move on to review Java array, okay, and the method and the constant, okay, constant. So the first one we are going to review is about a constant. How do we define a constant? So in Java, to define a constant, generally, you define like this with a static keyword, okay? Oh, I forgot the final. Okay, static, final, and int and max. Okay, so that's a constant. And once you define this, then this all cap max is a constant. Then you can use it like over here. Then in main, is it? I just do print line max. So what it will output over here, what you will get is 999. Okay, it's not the word max. These two are different. Okay, this is string, and this max is an integer. Okay, so that's the difference here. And then the next important part is about array. So in this statement, is it, we define data type. So this is data type. Follow that, you have a blank square bracket, is it? Follow that, you have the name. So this declare, we declare an array. Okay, you declare. And be careful, in Java, whenever you want to use an array, that's not enough. Okay, not like this. If you do int I, then you can directly assign 10 to I. As in, you don't need to do anything else. But for array, wherever you define it, if you want to use it, you need to do new, and then the type, and then follow the capacity. So new, then the type, then follow capacity. Is it? And why is this? It's because in Java, array is considered an object. And for an object needs memory. And what kind of memory? We call it a heap memory. Okay, so it needs a heap memory to store all of its data. Okay, and this I, it's not an object. This is a primary data type. Primary data. Okay, so not an object. Not an object. And this 10, not in heap. Not in heap memory. Okay, so it's in a runtime stack. So basically the idea is, so over here, the main method, it's in, we call it a runtime stack. Runtime stack, okay. And in machine's memory, there is another allocation. It's called, let me do the clear off, redraw it. So the main method, is it? And the plus of its variables, is it? So this main method, it's in stack, runtime stack memory. Okay, and what we just say, this array, whenever it does new, there is another memory location called heap memory. Okay, heap memory. So whenever you call new, this new, then it will allocate a bunch of memory. And in Java, this type, array type is integer. And each integer is 4 bytes. It takes 4 bytes. And 1 byte is what? Is 8 bits. Is it? What is a bit? A bit is 1 or 0. Is it? So for an integer to be stored in our machine, it needs what? It needs 32 bits. Okay, it needs 32 bits. of memory. So 4 bytes. So totally how much we need? We need 40 bytes of memory for this array. Is it? This array, this variable is on the stack memory. But those 40 bytes of memory is where? Is on heap. And this guy will point to this location, okay, on heap. So we call it will reference to the specific heap memory location with 40 bytes of heap memory, okay? So that's what this happens. And if we do over here, integer I equals 10, is it? I is here on stack, 10 is also here on stack. So it's different. So in Java, whenever we have new happens on heap, okay, on heap memory. So later on we will see this is a very important concept, okay? And so it will reference to this 40 bytes of memory in heap, okay, in heap. And then let's take a further look. Okay, and after you declare and allocate memory, okay? So remember, only after allocate memory for array, then you can start to use it. Otherwise, you cannot, okay? Not like int I equals 10, okay? So we can start to use it. And the first option is pretty straightforward. You can use a loop, then do individual assignment, is it? And for array, we also know like this kind of notation, is it? So array name, square brackets, and then, so array always start with what? So index start at 0, is it? Start at 0. So this is called the first element of an array, is it? And the second one then is going to be referred as sub1, is it? The third one then going to be referred as sub2. So be careful, okay? And in this case, I, is it? And based on the loop variable, is it? So you can assign value like this, is it? And then you can also get each individual element's output, okay? So that's one way you can we can assign an array, is it, with a loop. And let's see. And over here, what I showed is we can also write a method, is it, to initialize an array, to assign value to an array. So do whatever you want, is it? So over here, so this is a Java method, is it? So this is method name. And here is parameter. And be careful, this parameter, is it? It's an array. And so if you want to pass an array, then you need to give type and square brackets and the following the parameter name, is it? And for the method, the return type is void. And we also have static. Static means what? It's a class name. Is it a class name? And then within this this method, what we did is you can also assign value, is it? And over here, we use that constant, is it? To assign value to individual array elements, is it? And after that, then this method will assign individual values to this array, is it? To this array. And then over here, you call this method. Over here, I call this method. Is it what I plug in? I plug in the array object in main. Is it? But be careful, okay, this is called argument. Argument always like in the main driver part, is it? So you plug in with this argument. And initially this array doesn't have any value. Is it? After you call this function, then it will have value, is it? And I think it's time for our class to stop. So we haven't finished all of the material. Yeah, so tomorrow we are going to continue our discussion. So do you all have any questions?
Do we need a textbook for this class?
Yeah, because some of the assignments are going to be from the textbook. And also the textbook, sometimes you may want to use it for some reference. And also I want to check, will this be fine with all of you, like this kind of lecturing?
Yeah, this works great.
Okay, great to know. Any needs, just let me know. Okay, you can email me and whatever way, okay? So then I will see you all tomorrow, okay, same time. Bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too.